everybody, it's Christine. Welcome to Stealing Saturday. This week I am joined by Wendy Antenucci, and she has been a good friend for quite a while, and I think this week might have been my hardest stealing week. She is tremendously gifted, and I also just someone I look up to so much as a person, and so I struggled a little bit. I felt like I don't know. It was interesting. It was more of a challenge than it has been the rest of the weeks. Not for I don't know why. But let's get on with it. I am copying a very recent layout of hers. It was a layout that she did. It was her first project as a design team member for Paper House Productions. And it was one of the best paper house layouts I've ever seen. And I've been designing for them for 5 years. So I knew that I wanted to find a way to lift it. So what I did is I pulled out my scrap room kit for this month. And let me tell you, it's the 3rd of the month when I'm editing this. It'll be up on the 4th. And I have used every single page kit from the kit this month. I love this month's kit. So this one is a fancy pants collection, and it's a travel theme. And I am kind of taking the travel theme and turning it into a beach/travel theme. What I have done is I have very much so copied her approach to the pictures. She had a 3-photo layout, and then she had some blue strips underneath her layouts. Hers looks very much like a beach scene. Mine is going to end up looking like a scene, but not exactly like a beach scene. Not sure I fully do her justice on this one. She really rocked that layout. And you are definitely going to want to head over and watch her video on it. The other thing that's really cool about that video, she talks about how she approaches scrapbooking. So if you're new to scrapbooking or you're just looking for some fresh approaches, she does a really good job with that. Now, she did have a palm tree on her layout to the left side of her pictures. I reversed the side, and I did add that. And then she had some clouds on hers. I was being lazy. I didn't get out any metal dies or get out my silhouette to cut out the clouds, and I just cut out some fluffy clouds out of white cardstock. I do that a lot. I don't want to have to go over to a machine. And so if I can just cut it out by hand, I definitely will. There's something to that theory about how if something is within reach of you at your desk, you'll use it more. I totally love that theory. So you can see how I've created those, just scissors and white cardstock. And I am trying to incorporate a lot of the colors that are in the collection on this, but I'm struggling at this point. I'm not loving the blue strips underneath my picture, nor am I loving the yellow. So I am trying to decide how I can change that and make it work. The back side of this blue paper that I'm using is actually a patterned paper, which is unusual to have a solid side on the opposite of a patterned paper. So what you just saw me do is I cut off the bottom, completely cut it off. Little bit of a risk. And now I'm going to adhere the whole thing onto another sheet of 12 by 12 cardstock. So you can see how colorful and really pretty that patterned paper is. And why I wanted to bring it in. Now, these pictures are at the beach. They're of me and my 14-year-old riding our bikes on the beach. I totally could have gone with exactly a beach theme, but I wanted to put my own spin on it. And so adding that color at the bottom made it my own. One of the things that you know about me, if you watch a lot of my videos, is that I use a lot of color. I love colorful layouts. And so this one is very true to my style and personality in that respect. Now you can see I've got my whole base going. I've got my photos set there, and now I'm just playing with it to decide where I want different embellishments to go. And this is where I really started to struggle. I knew the basics of how I wanted to set this whole thing up, but I struggled with embellishing. And I think part of it was because I was trying to stick with the kit, and I was straying from the theme of the kit, so the embellishing was a little bit more of a challenge. And part of it was, I don't know, maybe I was tired. Some days it just doesn't flow in the same way. But you keep working with it. You keep moving things around until you're satisfied. So you can see I'm using those clouds, and what I'm doing is I'm using some 3D foam circles from Scrapbook Adhesives by 3L behind them to pop some of them, but not all of them, up. And just mixing and matching that. I'm also going to add in the hot air balloon there, and that is popped up. And then I cut out a border strip, which Wendy had this on her layout too. I cut out a border strip from the patterned paper in this collection, and that was a pain. That was not an easy border to cut out. I should have just pulled out some border stickers. But again, it was right in front of me, so it felt like it was the way to go. And then what I did here to create my title is I cut in half this ephemera piece that said road trip, and I just am going to use trip, and then I'm using some of the letter stickers that came in the embellishment kit to spell out bike. And so I have bike trip there. Colorful, cute, whimsical, very fun. I like those letter stickers a lot. They're like puffy stickers, so they were just kind of fun to move around and feel and all that. So now, right now, you can see things are starting to come together, and I'm going to pull in another little piece down at the bottom. Now, this is something that Wendy didn't have. Hers was all a little bit tighter. I just couldn't find a way to make more happen in the palm tree area, and I knew I really needed to build that visual triangle in there, so I decided to go down a little lower. And I like the way this white pops against that plaid paper. It's just really catches your eye. And then the saying that I put on there came in the ephemera, and that was it says, "Let's go, 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 go," which I thought was pretty appropriate for riding our bikes. We also got some buttons in the kit, and so I'm going to add a few of those, actually buttons and flare. So I'm going to add some of those in around my different embellishment clusters that I've got going on, and just play things up a little bit that way. Now, if you're like me, you're looking at this, and I have been the whole time, and going, okay, is that supposed to be a sun up there? Where are the sunshine rays? They're totally missing. And so now I'm going to work on pulling those in. I am just simply using some more of that yellow patterned paper and just cutting little strips. And I'm going to just secure those underneath the sun to make some little rays. Now, right now you're seeing that they're very long. That is not going to stay the case. I'm just kind of trying to get the placement of them at this point and make sure they're secure on there, but I don't intend to leave them long. It looks goofy right now. I'm with you. It looks goofy. It's okay to think that. But I do like what they add to the whole layout. So now I'm going to just kind of consider, do I want more than that? How's my placement? Am I missing anywhere? That kind of thing. And ultimately I decide I just want to add a few more in, and then I'm going to trim them down. So it's just a little ray. It's not shooting across the entire layout. And it just, again, I didn't cut these even with my trimmer. I just used my scissors and trimmed them down. And I pulled the palm tree up for just a minute so I could see if I needed a ray underneath it or where to place that so it didn't look awkward, because that was a little bit tricky. And the palm tree actually did not come in the kit. That came from Paper House. So it doesn't fit perfectly, but I felt like I wanted it on there because when we were riding at this point, we were in South Carolina. South Carolina is known for their palmetto trees, and so I really wanted to include that. Now, I am using my white pen just to add in some little splatters here and there. I could use mist and do the same thing, but I don't really love white mist. I haven't found one that I love. If you have one that you love, please leave me a comment, because I would really love a white mist that really shows up. I have not had that happen. So if I want some white splatters and dots and stuff, I just tend to go with the white pen. Now, final step is something that I've been doing a lot of lately, and that is just adding some doodling onto my layout. If you look closely, you can see that the hot air balloon is outlined. And I wanted to do a little more of that. I wanted to grow on that. And so I'm just taking my black pen and doing some simple outlining and doodling throughout the layout. Nothing complicated. I'm not measuring anything. I'm not using a ruler. I'm just freehanding it and having fun with it. Of course, my journaling down there is also in black. And so that is another way where the black is being pulled in. But you can see even on the clouds, I'm not even doing the entire part of the clouds, and I'm adding in some little stitch looks and just a whole different variety of approaches. This is just a nice way to really personalize your layout and just to kind of have fun and let loose a little bit. If you are extremely precise, this might not be the technique for you. I am not extremely precise most of the time, and so it works really well for me. I like, for me, how it adds the artistic feel to things, and like I said, makes it more one of a kind, but definitely if it stresses you out, don't do it. It's certainly not mandatory by any means to have fun with your project. I could have left it completely alone and it would have been just as great. So be sure to head on over to Wendy today, and I will see you again soon with another video.